What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Way of Fishing. We're going fishing tomorrow. So Caleb is going to start running the camera on himself on his kayak to film. So on my channel, this is a fishing channel if you're just coming here for the camera mount video. But on my channel, we do heads up video, POV style. I don't do chesty mounts. Not a knock on anybody who does, but I just feel like I don't want to watch a video of hands moving in front of me the whole time like this. Like, this is annoying. Okay, I don't want to see that. So it basically, with this mount, whatever we look at, you see. So you experience it as we experience it. So I'm going to do a super quick video on how I do a heads up mount. Now I'm going to be putting a full size GoPro on this hat. I've never had the hat fall off. It really doesn't hinder my fishing at all. When I first put it on, it took a little bit of effort, you know, because you can feel the weight, but now I don't really notice it. And the key to this is getting the camera as close to the the forehead as you can. So here I've got a brand new hat from discounttackle.com, and this hat is going to Caleb, and we're gonna put this GoPro mount on this hat. It'll be about right there. Okay, so very simple. These are the only screws I had. These are a little bit longer than I need. I would recommend that you get shorter screws, but these are 1/4 20, and 1/4 20 is a standard camera mount screw that you're going to find. I think that's a 1/4 20 as well. That might be a little bit shorter, so we're going to go with that. But you need a 1/4 20 coarse thread. I will link these below. I will link the correct size below. That one's a little bit long. That might actually be right, but you need about a 3/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch. So what I have here, this is a rubber washer like you would repair your faucet with. I use this because once the screw is through, I put that in between the screw and the hat, and that bit of rubber actually does an extremely good job of keeping the camera from moving around. Once this is locked down, that camera's not going to move at all. So let's go about doing this. I've got another washer here just in case I needed to take up more space. So you can buy these washers in an assortment kit, and that way you'll have whichever one you need. So I know I'm going to put this washer in between the hat and then the GoPro mount. So the way I do this is the seam that runs down this hat right here. I'm kind of explaining this to Caleb too, but I use that as a center point. So I put this so that the hole lines up with this seam running down the middle of the hat. Now, can you see that? Where that hole is where I'm actually going to take my drill and drill a hole through this hat, through this brand new beautiful hat that's not stained and has never been fishing. Now the inside of new hats is plastic, so you're not hurting by doing that. And so I end up with a very tiny hole right here. I don't want the hole to be big because I don't want this screw moving. And I just realized as I sat down to do this that I did not grab a screwdriver. But also, if you look, by drilling that hole just exactly the right size, so now that screw is actually threading into the plastic brim of the hat. And you want to get the flush mount screw so that it's as much. When I first did this, I actually could see it in my line of sight. So you just want to keep it as close to the brim of the hat as possible. There you go. Now, when you come over here, this is where the washer comes into play. When you screw the mount on, it's not going to go all the way down. So that's the end of the threads. So that's where these washers are coming into play. Now, in this instance, I'm actually going to use that big washer I had because I've got to take up the gap. My screws are a little bit long, so I'll put the rubber washer on top of here, and then we're going to screw the GoPro mount down on top of that. Okay, I did have to step away and go get a screwdriver, and then once I went to actually lock this down, I did end up putting the second washer on here. Again, an assortment is best. In this instance, the only screw I have is too long. I said at the start of the video, but it bears, mentioning again. So this is locked down tight, and once you do it, if you're correct, you see how the screw pulled into the brim of the hat. That is completely flush. That will not catch your eye. You will not notice it as you're fishing. We're going to set one of my old broken GoPro 5s on here. Now I know this may seem ungainly, but trust me, it works. I used to be a big fan of doing this with you want to angle it down some, with the Hero Session, but you can't really get those anymore. And for the price you can find them, I don't recommend buying them at that price. They're just not worth that price that the used market has them going for. But this is how I do a heads up GoPro mount on a hat. You can actually power this separately with a USB cord. I usually run it out of here come through the back of here against my head and down through my life jacket. But now, if you're fishing, wherever you look, if you hear a splash and you turn, the camera sees that. You come back, you're fishing your bait. If a fish strikes your bait, the camera sees that. There are never any hands blocking your view. There are never any hands reeling, so you can't see what's going on. Heads up, hands out of the way. Wherever I move, I see. I don't have to worry about the camera at all day. As long as I have on the hat, then I have a heads up camera mount. So that's it. That's my heads up camera mount from WAEofFishing. Hope that helps you guys film your fishing. As always, thanks for watching WAEofFishing. Get out there, fish your way.